Hey friends, Mindy here with 10 tips for toddler tantrums. That's a lot of T's. And my very best tip is at the end, number 1. And so we're going to go through this super fast. Follow along with me and you'll rewatch it if you need to rehear something because I'm going to speed through 10 tips for toddler tantrums. You know, the terrible twos don't have to be that terrible. If we can avoid some, if we can redirect some, if we can create environments where tantrums are less likely, then maybe the twos don't have to be so terrible. Let's get started. Number 10, plan your day. Planning helps not only to put us at ease, but to put our kids at ease, especially if you have a highly sensitive child. Highly sensitive kids get anxiety when there isn't a plan. So they'll come at you with 15 questions about what you're going to do today. And if you don't have an answer, they will create your plan for you. And when you don't like their plan, there's a tantrum. So I use an Erin Condren. That's my favorite go-to planner, but use whatever one you like best. This one has a month at a glance and a week at a glance, and my little tab that keeps me all in check. So I start there every day with my cup of coffee and hopefully create a plan. I don't always get it, but if you can have a plan for your day, that helps to alleviate some tantrums. Number 9, pack activities. Bring with you things besides your phone to hand to your children when they need to sit down and be good or be quiet, or if you're going somewhere where there's not a whole lot of little kid activities, pack them. So I'll show you a couple of my favorites. Yesterday we went to a dress rehearsal for a recital for one of my older daughters. So the 3 littles were with me and I had to keep them busy and quiet in a room for an hour. So I brought a little pre-K dry erase book, and some dry erase markers, and because I know my other one was going to want that, here is another tip. Board books are also dry erase books, so you can use dry erase markers on any board books you have and turn it into a dry erase activity. Also, this little guy, I'm not getting any rewards or like royalties for this. This is just some of my favorite mom things. This little guy I got on Amazon for like 15 bucks, and I thought it was kind of overpriced, but I realized it was one of the greatest purchases I'd had for these kids. It's just a magnet thing, and it's so simple, but I'm telling you what, this kept my 2-year-old son busy for a solid 30 minutes making a square, because he's a very methodical kiddo, and so it took him a while to make his perfect square, and then to erase the square, you know, one by one. So that's on Amazon. I don't remember what it was called, but I'm sure you could find it if you look up magnet board activity. So bring some activities with you, because toddlers shouldn't have to be perfectly still and quiet all the time. They're toddlers. Give them something to do. Number 8, follow a routine. I know you've probably heard a million times that a routine is important for kids. This is just a reminder that yes, it is important, and it helps them to avoid tantrums, because routines create stability, it creates confidence, it creates security in our kids' minds, and so it helps give our home some peace. So when you're kind of tempted to skip that nap or let them stay up a little extra late or forget about meals for the day, you know, whatever it is that is a normal routine that you're tempted to skip over, just remember, try as best you can to keep those routines. Hi, Rue. Hi, who is that? Temp? Okay, hi, Temp. I'll be there in a second. To keep those routines established, because they are important. Now, this is coming from a mom that struggles herself to keep those routines every day. With 7, our calendars are busy. Number 7, healthy snacks. Healthy snacks prevent hangry toddlers. Sometimes your kid throws a tantrum because they're hungry. Obviously, sometimes because they're tired. Sometimes they're overstimulated. But this is an easy one to fix. If your kid's throwing a tantrum because they're hungry, have healthy snacks available in the house and outside of the house, wherever you are. This is a little bento box. I found on Amazon a 4-pack of them. And again, not getting paid anything for this, but you should find these because they're airtight. So you can put like wet things in this one and dry things in this one, and nothing's going to share juices. And so we pack a couple of these everywhere we go. We took them to the soccer fields this morning. It's still packed a little bit from that. So bring healthy snacks with you and have them available at reachable heights for your kids so that they can just pull open the cabinet and get their favorite bar out of the out of the cabinet when they're hungry. Number 6, ignore harmless tantrums. Some tantrums are not harmless. Sometimes they're hurting someone or hurting themselves or damaging property. If those things are happening, you can't avoid or ignore it. But if that's not happening and they're literally just flailing on the floor and it's harmless, ignore it. Because attention is your greatest reward that you give your kids. When you're giving them attention, you're training them that that's what they should do if they want more attention. So if tantrums get your attention, then they will do more tantrums. On that note, if you say no 5 times before you say yes every single time, you're training them to just ask 5 times and then they will get what they want. So just remember, your attention is training that kid to do whatever it is. So ignore the harmless tantrums because your attention is a reward and that they'll learn that they don't work. Number 5, positive instruction, not negative instruction. And so what that looks like is, instead of avoid saying the word no and stop if possible. If your kid is climbing something they shouldn't climb, instead of saying no, stop, say please come down from there. It gives them a positive instruction to do. If they are hitting someone, instead of saying no, stop, say keep your hands to yourselves, put your hands in your pockets. Something like that. That's positive instruction rather than the no and the stop. Because what you're doing when you're saying no, stop is just giving them a visual of what they shouldn't be doing instead of giving them a visual of what they should be doing. So if at all possible, give them a positive instruction rather than a negative reprimand. If I'm going into the store and I want them to not run away and not be loud, then my instruction on the way into the store is, we're going into the store. I want you to keep close to the cart, keep your hand on the cart, or in mom, hold my hand, and keep our voices down. If you keep your voice down and stay close to the cart, I'll get you a candy bar on the way out. Positive instruction. Number 4, get on their level. When you're on their level, you can keep your voice down. You can keep a peaceful, poised presence. If you want them to have a peaceful, poised presence, then you must model it. Screaming from the other room or the other end of the room or shouting down to them is not helpful if you would like to create a toddler who knows how to control their emotions and all those things. We're teaching them by what they see. So if say your kid falls down and scrapes their knee, get on their level. Get eye to eye with them. And show your compassion and keep your voice calm and keep your presence poised. And they will learn to do the same thing. And so, if at all possible, instead of screaming from the other room or shouting down at them, get at their level and talk calmly. Number 3, model good listening. They won't do what you say as much as they'll do what you do. And so whatever you want them to do, you must model it. If you want them to listen well, then when they're talking, listen to them. Act like what they have to say is important. Even if they're talking about mermaids and unicorns or dinosaurs and knights, listen to what they have to say. And then when it's time for them to listen, they'll be more apt to do so. Kids do what you do, they don't do what you say. And so, model good listening. Number 2, reward the behavior you want repeated. So we talked before that your attention is your greatest reward. So use your attention to reward the types of behavior that you want to see them repeat. So if you see your kid playing well and sharing, get up close to them and reward them with words of affirmation. Reward them with physical touch, a hug or a high five. Reward them with a prize if you think that it's worth, rewarding with a sticker or a trip to the dollar store or something. Reward the behavior that you want them to repeat, and not the behavior that you don't want them to repeat. So if they're having a tantrum and you're getting down and you're showing them, lots of affection or attention, you're training them that that's what they do to get the reward that they want. And so reward the behavior you want repeated. This requires you to be intentional, to be watching, to be, to show some effort, looking for all the times that they're doing something that you want them to keep doing. So even if they're sitting quietly in a room by themselves, playing by themselves, and you want to be like, ooh, leave them alone because they're playing by themselves, maybe go in there and say, hey, I noticed you playing with this. Tell me what it is and show me. and you're rewarding the behavior you want them to repeat. All right, hopefully that makes sense. My last one, number 1, my greatest encouragement for these toddler years is getting really good at the art of distraction. Distraction is an incredible tool to use as a parent, and it can help to avoid you saying no or stop or yelling and screaming at them. It can help avoid lots of tantrums if you can learn the art of distraction. Here's a really simple example of what's happening right now in my home. I have a 2-year-old that's still in diapers, and he has created this habit that when I'm changing his diaper, he thinks it's time to kick and flail. And he thinks it's a fun game to kick me when I'm changing his diaper. And I realize he's created this habit, so I've turned it into, I've distracted him with a game that we play now every time I'm changing his diaper. We play this game, where's your head? Right here. Where's your mouth? Right here. Where's your eyes? Where's your ears? And I keep asking him the questions until I'm done changing him. This is the art of distraction. You can use it in the middle of a tantrum. You can use it to avoid a tantrum. You can use it to redirect from behavior that you don't want them to do. The point is, positive parenting is much more effective in creating positive children. And so hopefully these 10 tips have helped you. If they have, share them with another mom. And let me know if you have questions or your own things that you would like tips on. I don't claim to have all the answers. I just claim to have a little bit of experience and trial and error with these amazing 7 kiddos. So I hope you have an awesome day. God bless.